I am here in my backyard. I'm on my back deck. I decided to go outside today to get a little bit of sun. We all know my pasty white skin could use it. Need the vitamin D from the sunlight. So I'm out on my back deck with my dog. He's sitting here. Hey, Darcy. Hi, my Darcy boy. So he's right here saying hi. You can barely see him up. Not see him on camera. There he is. There he is. There he is. Okay, enough of him. He's very needy, and he's mooching because I have chips. Sorry, I'll adjust my camera a little bit as I'm sitting here. So, I don't know if you'll hear any background noise while I'm out here. We'll see. That might make it fun. So, I'm trying to get out of my funk. I have some chips here to help me out with that. Chips always make me happy. Chips and salsa, chips and dip, whatever it is. So, find what makes you happy. My video today is about a little bit about that. I don't want to become one of those weird, inspirational, middle-class, middle-aged, white moms who goes online and does inspirational video talks all the time. So don't worry, I'm not going to become that person. I'm very well aware of it. But I've been feeling in a funk this week because the choice boards came out and I was a little, we got those on the same day you guys got them. And they left a little bit to be desired, but they are what they are, and they're better than not having anything to do. And I think some of the stuff in there is pretty okay, but I think you just need it unpacked a little bit, which is 10th graders. That's what my video was yesterday that I sent to you guys through email to you and your parents, was a tutorial of me going through one of those choice boxes. AP kids, I'm sorry. I'm just going to send you some stuff, but here's some news. Mr. Weeks and I are putting together a few tutorials of our own. We're going to meet tomorrow via Zoom and record our conversation and lesson for you guys that we're going to put on there hopefully tomorrow, and have some work that you're going to do with that will be due next Wednesday, because honestly the 11th grade English boards is the same as my 10th grade ones, and you're an AP. And so some of that needs to be stepped up a bit. So we're differentiating it like the district said we could. They said we're welcome to supplement if needed. And as long as our PLC agrees to it, then we're good to go. So that's what Mr. Weeks and I are going to do. And we'll have that ready for you guys tomorrow. I will post it on my YouTube channel and on campus. I don't know how he'll distribute it. He might do it through email with his kids. If you have friends who are in Mr. Weeks' class, make sure you let them know that that's coming down the line. Hopefully I don't have a coughing fit like that other video a couple days ago. I felt it just a second ago. What else? It's a little windy out here. I might have to lower my umbrella a little bit to keep it from catching too much of the wind. What else is going on in life? I played Animal Crossing. I've been doing that still, improving my island. What else? I've cleaned up my house. Today I helped my son with some of his work for school. He had to finish writing a paper about a dinosaur he researched, and he researched the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And so, of course, because that's a pretty popular one. So he wanted to do that one. So he was stoked about finishing that up. And it wasn't too bad. It was a little frustrating. I see where your parents are probably coming from, where you don't even know where to begin to help your kids. And here I am, a teacher, and I teach English, and I didn't even know. I mean, the teacher left some instructions, but I don't know what to expect for a second grader for writing. I really don't. So I did my best, and I think I sometimes expected maybe a little bit too much from him, not knowing what each step should look like in the process, because my idea is much more up here for a first draft, where I think his teacher is a little bit lower expectations for writing. So that's been a learning curve for me in this process. So I'm continuing to learn how to be a better homeschooling mom and use the resources my kids' schools have given them. My incentive for my high school daughter has been that, if she gets all the assignments her teachers assign done, the sooner she gets them done, the better. And then she can choose what she does with her time unless I need her help with something. So she has that incentive that on Fridays she could really have the whole day to herself if she gets everything done earlier in the week. So that might be good for some of you, is to set some personal goals. Right now you probably have a wide variety of expectations from different teachers. I would expect that you guys, if you're missing anything, that you've turned in that missing work. once we go into phase 4, I don't want to see that stuff anymore. I want to be done with it by then. So I'm going to put a reminder out about that to parents, that that's really my final deadline for that old stuff, that we're moving on and we're going to transition, and this is still that transition period, and enough's enough. We got to do something better. So, and do something new, because the old stuff isn't really helping too much. I hope you guys are still staying well mentally and physically. I know it's hard when you can't go out and do things. Not all of you have a deck to go sit out on, or a neighborhood you feel you can walk around in. Or maybe you're busy helping with siblings and your family's responsibilities. Some of you may have parents out of work. Some of you, I have heard, are working and trying to help out that way, or at least keep yourself busy that way, picking up more hours. Each situation is different. I think all of your teachers are aware of it, and we're kind of stuck in a weird situation between trying to be helpful, but not being overbearing and overwhelming you guys and your families. And I think the district's trying to do that, so I kind of appreciate part of what they're doing, because I want to think that's where their heart is that they want to ease you guys into online learning as much as possible, rather than throwing a bunch of stuff at you without a lot of thought. So we'll see what comes in phase 4. I'm a little nervous, especially for AP. 10th grade, I think they will do an okay job coming up with at least some resources, but I don't know how much better they're going to be than what they currently have. If they're not, I'll see how much leverage they give me to change things, and I will change what I need to. That's what I always do. So AP, I'm going to email our district person that's in charge of curriculum and ask her what the plan is for AP English. Because if she can just let us go and do what we want at the building level, then Mr. Weeks and I will just plan out stuff and start doing that. But we need to also hear from the district if things are going to be required as far as a grade goes. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen with phase 4, but I'm not sure. So right now it's just total speculation for me. What else? I heard bad news from my old district in Idaho. A bunch of the hourly workers got furloughed, which means they've been laid off for the rest of the year. They can file for unemployment like a lot of families are experiencing right now, but it's one of those reasons why I left Idaho, was just how they treated teachers and support staff in general. It's frustrating that the funding's not as good as Washington is with a lot of that stuff. And so to see friends suffering for that is hard. My husband has a friend that's in the food industry as well, and he's a chef, and he's been out of work for a while. So it's tough. It's, I think my husband and I have been pretty sheltered personally because we're both teachers and we're fortunate in that. And I just count that as a blessing every day, which is why I try to do as much as I can here with you guys and give you guys feedback as much as I can, because it's what I can do to help out besides sewing stupid masks and taking care of my own kids and supporting local businesses. I've been trying to do as much of that as I can without going against any stay-at-home orders. So how often do I go out? I think to a store, it's like once a week is what I limit it to. And it's usually to get fresh groceries like produce stuff and bread and milk and eggs, those types of things. I usually try to go to Costco for that if I can. If not, I go to another local grocery store like Fred Meyer, Safeway. I go walk around my neighborhood every day. Oh, the wind's really picking up. I try to walk around my neighborhood every day or go on a run. So that's been really good. I'm trying to get back into my yoga again. I know I said that a while ago. I've done a few of them. I just need to get on a schedule where in the morning I just get up and do it if I'm not going to go on a run that day, and do that before I have my office hours. Don't forget, my office hours are from 8 to 11 a.m. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. What else? I'm trying to remember all the things I just wanted to recap, because I know some of you watch every single day and some of you don't. Some people I don't think have watched any of these videos and don't know that they exist or are pretending. So spread the word, let your friends know that I'm doing little video updates as my thing. To be honest, the big reason I do it is also to keep my own sanity and hopefully help you guys out with yours as well. Give some semblance of normalcy in this weirdness that we have. So AP kids, I hope you've been doing the AP tutorials on YouTube. I've been really relying on that quite a bit, knowing that those are nationally released videos. So they're pretty well vetted, and I think the stuff on it's pretty good. I've been paying attention to the prompts that they've been using, so I can hopefully make sure that I don't reuse those same prompts in a tutorial that I do, so that we can have some variety. So just keep that in mind. They have a great one that I was watching that was from a couple days ago, I believe, about oh my gosh, now I'm having a brain fart. It's about how you order your argument, how you put it together. And we had been working with that right before the shutdown. And so it mentioned, it's the logical reasoning one and how it's structured. So they did a good job talking about that and how like authors use cause and effect as their logical structure in their writing or their speech. And there's all the other ones they went through. And so we were dealing with that. So it was really nice to see that coming through in a lesson, because that was kind of our next step in supporting you guys on writing rhetorical analysis, was really covering that last thing, which is not just looking at the minutia of how things are written and these little tiny devices, but looking at these larger strategies of how the whole text is structured. So that's something I appreciated from that lesson. So if you haven't checked out that one, I would at least go do that one. Lastly, of course, it's 14,000 things to be happy about. One thing I'm happy about before I get to this one is last night, my kids are not big readers, which is really weird because I'm an English teacher. You'd think my kids would love books and love to read. And I read to my kids and I read with them, and I have since they were little. But my son Isaac and my daughter Reagan both had issues where they hit a certain age and got kind of bored with it, because they're pretty fluent, but their comprehension is kind of low, or they don't really pay attention to all the details and immerse themselves in the story. So I've been working on that with them. So last night, I finally my husband's like, you just need to pick a book and read it with them, or read it to them, or whatever. I said, okay. So I picked up James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. Some of you may have read that in elementary school. And I read the first chapter, and he was my son was so hesitant. He's like, okay, he doesn't really like fiction. He loves nonfiction and learning things and doing these quick reads, or looking through books and skimming through and finding a section he likes and reading about it. So I was like, well, I want to do a fiction book with you and read this one, and I think you'll really like it. Your sister did. So I started reading. I said, give it a chapter, and then, we'll see what you think and talk about it. And then tomorrow we can read another chapter. Well, chapter 1 starts off with this kid, if you don't remember it, that he's 4 years old when his parents go to London and are eaten by a rhinoceros that escaped from the zoo in London. And he has to go, they sell his parents' property by the beach where he lived and grew up and had all his friends. And he has to move with his 2 mean aunts just over the hills so he can just barely see his house from his new place. And they are mean. They're abusive verbally and physically to him. They isolate him. I mean, it's messed up stuff. It really reminds me a lot of him taking the Cinderella story and kind of merging it with Jack and the Beanstalk. And I haven't looked that up online. I'm sure other people have already done analysis of it and made that connection, but it really hit me this time reading it that I was just thinking about it, because I was talking about with my son, because he got all excited about how mean these people were. He's like, what is with these people that are so mean? This is so sad. So we actually ended up reading, the chapters are pretty short and there's some pictures too, but we read 4 or 5 chapters last night. So we just got to the cool part where he gets the magic bag of green little magic things that are in there, really creepy crawly things. And the old guy gave them to him on the road and told him to go drink all of them with water. So that's where we're at. And so that was exciting because I was able to finally get him excited about a fiction book for us to read together. So this one, I'm just reading it aloud to him and doing the voices, which is pretty common, but he's enjoying it, and I am too, which is nice for once. So those of you that have younger siblings in elementary school, do something nice like that for your parents. Find a book around the house from when you were a kid, or find one online, read it to your sibling, and do all the stupid voices for it. They will love it. They'll remember it. It's something you'll remember, and you'll have that to hang on to about this time. If you're the youngest, do some chores to help your parents out. Offer to make dinner. That would be my suggestion to help them out. because I know that's what I need some days. All right, last thing is 14,000 things to be happy about. You can see my mood's changing a bit this week. Maybe it's the sun. I usually am not big for the sun. The sun makes me kind of feel sick if I get too much of it, but today it's feeling nice because it's not too overwhelming. All right, here we go. I'm gonna pick something. My neighbor's out. My neighbor, he's out on his deck, which is right across from mine. And he's out there with his kids cleaning. So he probably thinks I'm crazy because I'm sitting over here talking to my computer with my dog sitting next to me. So he's probably like, who is that crazy lady? If you're already thinking that, be quiet, hush yourself. I think he might be washing his dog on his deck, which is weird. Uh-oh, my husband's home. Okay, I can hear him coughing. All right, here's 14,000 things to make you happy. Here it goes. All right, gonna randomly pick. Here we go. Cheerfulness. Well, that's really specific. That's helpful. Okay. Cheerfulness does lead to happiness, or if you force yourself to be cheerful, sometimes that does help. Try to find the positive, but I'm going to pick something else because I didn't like that one. The Great Lakes. I've never been to the Great Lakes. I've heard lots of great things about them. Never been there. I've heard they're vast. I've heard it's kind of like boating on there is kind of like boating on the ocean where there's waves and such. Wouldn't mind to go. So I guess that kind of makes me happy. It makes me think of boating and the sun and calm breezes and all those good things. So that's a good note to end on. So have a lovely day. I don't have tea today because it's late in the day. It's afternoon. I was really slow getting to my video today. So have a lovely. I'm going to drink my Coke Zero in peace, happiness, and tranquility on the deck before I start working on grad school. So I get to go work on some stuff. Yay! Have a good Thursday, guys. Tomorrow is the big Friday.